key screens in the middle where people can talk and host, etc. And today, Stephen's our host. Perhaps you'd like to talk about being a host, Stephen?
I can do that. I'm just going to do something else, though. And now John is a host as well. Now, this is important in terms of the Blab, because it means you can share the duties. You can share the admin of the Blab itself. And the other thing is that if one of you should experience technical difficulties, you can just leave and come back in. It means that both John and I can control the recording. We're recording at the moment just to show the fact we've done it. Later on in the session, we're happy to go off air and invite you to join in. Hosting a Blab is relatively straightforward. The first thing you can do is set up the Blab, and the Blab needs a title. It needs up to 3 categories so that people can find it, and it needs a time. Now, time-wise, you can start a Blab straight away, or you can schedule it for some time in the future. If you schedule it for some time in the future, then you need to be around when it's due to start, which I just about made this morning. And hosting, you can decide who you add in. We can have up to 4 people on the screen at any one time, and in most Blabs what happens is that you start with a host, then a co-host, and then we invite guests to join us, and you take the seat, and you can talk in much the same way as we can. You can ask questions live on air. If you want to ask questions in text only, and we understand that, on the right-hand side where it says all people have tweeted and all people went on air and joined, if you type /Q followed by a question, then we will see the question and can respond to it. So if you have any questions as we're going along, then /Q in the text bar, and we will see it. One of us will see it, which is another joy of having co-hosts, and we'll try and respond to it. Now, the thing is that the Blab has only been going, as far as we're concerned, about 3 months. Obviously, it took years of development, but it is, how can I say, it's got a totally different atmosphere to Hangouts, insofar as it's more friendly. Would you agree on that?
I think so. It's the ease of getting in and here. I mean, you just click a link and you're there. It's as simple as that. And, you know, no having to think about it, load this, load the other. It runs in a browser. It works on my phone. It works on my tablet.
Right.
It works on my development PC, which is where I'm coming from today.
Indeed. And if people want to join in, you just press the call in. And Alan Ray has done that. And as a host, I can say yay or nay. And of course, as it's Alan, it's definitely a yay. Because we all know each other going back 10 years. We're on a UK networking site called Academy, and we've kept in touch over the years. We're all members of a group called Prospect Networking. Good morning, Alan. It's gone sideways. Good morning, Alan.
Morning. Can you hear us?
If you can hear us, Alan, in the top right hand. Ah, right. Okay, so we've got a wave. Do we have an hello?
No. Oh. Ah. Sadly, we can't hear you, Alan.
It's okay. We're here to iron out technical difficulties along the way. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer this. It looks like in this particular case, it's the signal.
Try. I'm waiting for someone to see me.
Ah, well, welcome anyway. We're going to welcome you with a round of applause. If you click on the photograph during when someone's talking, then you can give them applause. So I'm going to click twice, and 2 for Alan, and another 2 for John, of course.
Oh, I've given Alan a couple as well. Better give our host a couple, or he'll feel left out.
Yeah, and it's the quality of the signal which is the thing. And if at first you don't succeed, the thing to do then is simply to back out and refresh the page. That's the best thing, and then join in again. So, Alan, if you click the
it's rejoining now.
All right. Okay. Good. So this time, hopefully, second time will be okay. Most of the time, actually over 90% of the time, we've had no problems with Blabs. It's just the occasional time we've had a problem.
Permissions one.
Yeah. Hello, Alan.
Obviously, the depths of Sussex, isn't it, where Alan is?
Okay. Hello, Sonia. Nice to have you watching. If you have any questions, please just press /Q and enter the question. Headphones. I've got earphones. John's got nothing because he's got a super stereo sound setup, which he'll explain in a moment. But most of the time there is no problem, but occasionally you can get feedback. Now, you don't need headphones for that because in most cases, I mean, we're not high definition, so you can just use your PC speakers and that will be sufficient for the sound. That's all I'm using at the moment, and that's all John's using, I think. What you do need, though, to prevent any feedback is earphones, and they don't have to be expensive. They can be £7, $10, and you just plug those in, and it means that if John were to start speaking now,
hello, then
he would not come through my speakers. He's coming through my earphones, and therefore there's no feedback, and that's what it's trying to prevent. But it's only an occasional problem. Alan,
they just drive me mad.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, that's why I got these, which go over the back of the ear, because they don't fall out. And I can wear them for a couple of hours listening to Google Play, and there's no problem. But Alan's with us, but not with us.
It looks like
yeah,
either very dark where he is, or
he's
just left us a message saying he's having to go. So
right, and Andrew, we've got okay, Alan.
Bye, Alan.
Okay, and our next friend is Stephen Bray, and Stephen is going to join us now.
And Stephen, he's not a chicken; he's in Turkey.
Yes. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
That's perfect reception.
Wonderful. Well, I was just a bit curious to. I was just a bit curious to see, with the difficulty with Alan, how this would come over from Turkey.
Well, we can see you perfectly clearly. Your voice, because you've got the setup there, is perfect. I mean, we've no problems at all.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I've got you. Can I ask you some questions?
Certainly.
Okay. Well, as you probably know, Iram does internet counselling, and we normally use Skype in order to do that. So normally there aren't any problems with Skype, but sometimes there are connection difficulties. Usually they're kind of locally based. Could you see any advantage to her using Blab perhaps for her sessions? I mean, are these rooms public, or could they be private rooms?
Most of them are public, but only if you tell people about them. That's to say, you have to advertise to get people to come in, but they are accessible if people find it. Is that a reasonable statement, Stephen?
That's a reasonable statement. That they are by default public, and anybody can join in. But as John said, if you don't advertise it, then nobody will know about it. There is when you're actually setting it up, a test zone category. If you put yourself in the test zone category, then people will respect the fact that you're testing and won't come in. But it doesn't mean that it's private. People could come in. When they do come in, you can block people, but that seems a strange way to go about things.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think down the road, once they develop the technology and because we're in beta at the moment. I mean, Blab is in beta. When they've got the technology going, then I feel that this could well take on web conferencing. And when it gets to that stage and a conference can be private, then yes, I see that you could use it for that for private purposes, certainly for consulting purposes.
Andrew's asked, made a statement really, but Blab advertises them so people always know surely. It doesn't advertise tests. So that's where Stephen recommends you put yourself in the test zone, because those aren't advertised.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I didn't come in, I just came in directly to this conference. So is it straightforward to get into the test zone? How would you do that?
Basically, when you're setting it up, you just say you've got 3 categories you can choose. Just choose the test zone one.
Oh, I see.
And that's it. It's as simple as that. And it means it will show up in the listings. And we've just been told by Ken, thank you, Ken, that they've said they'll never have private rooms. So,
well, that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, we're all learning about it. So but the technology lends itself to that. They might white label it. We don't know which way it can go totally. But from a public point of view, if you wanted to teach a group of people publicly and you want to hold a class, then this is the ideal place, because you as tutor can be host. You can have one of your students as co-host watching the questions. And you can then run what is effectively a public session, not just for your pupils, but for pupils around the world. Now, whether there is a pay gate to get into it at some point, I don't know. But at this stage, you can certainly run public Blabs for training purposes.
And I'm working with a client who's got a group of outlets, and we're going to be using Blab on a monthly basis to introduce them to product updates. And if other people pop in, so what? That's the attitude that we're taking, in that more people will see their products.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just as a matter of interest, I mean, when you've been running these Blab sessions, I mean, what's the maximum number of people you've had in the centre? Because I think on Skype you can do up to about 8 people in a conference.
Right. Okay.
And we've done that for some training purposes for people, but I'm just wondering, have you tried? Have you stuck the metal tray in the microwave and seen what happens?
Right. Okay. At the moment, the Web Summit conference is taking place in Ireland, and Blab staff, CEO and staff, are behind the scenes interviewing participants in the Web Summit. So they're taking 45 minutes to actually chat to them live on air, and they're attracting audiences of 200 and 300. So technically, there's no problem viewer-wise. The restriction is that there's 4 people participating at one time. That's the only restriction we know of. I mean, obviously, it's got to be tested in heat, but I mean, 200 people watching at the same time doesn't seem to present any problems whatsoever, and I don't see any problems with it scaling.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Well, that's hopeful. I'll go now and let other people have a chance.
How's your weather before you go?
Well, unfortunately, I'm on the desktop at the moment. Otherwise, I could turn around and kind of show you the from outside. But we emptied the swimming pool yesterday.
But I bet it's still sunny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's still sunny.
It's pouring down here in Birmingham.
Is it? Oh, right. Well, I'm coming over next week, so I'll share the rain with you.
Okay. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Stephen. It's brought our networking to life after all these years.
Yeah, okay. Nice talking to you too. I'll just get quiet now for a bit.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Right. Just a quick one for Andrew from Kaba. If you log out of this Blab, if you go from this Blab and then you go to the Blab main screen and log out of there, you need to log out of your Twitter account on Twitter, then log into your real account on Twitter, and then come back in. Does that make sense, John? He's logged in as Kaba at the moment.
I've seen his pretty little squidgle thing. Are we going to see a picture of Andrew? That's the question. The king of bicycles.
Right, okay. If you want to log out, and hopefully nobody who's watching this will, if you go to the top left where it says beta, if you click on beta, it takes you to the home page. When you're on the home page, top right is the menu. Underneath your name, it's a drop down, and the 4th option down is exit. So click beta, go to the front page, go to your menu on the right hand side, click exit, and you'll disappear. Is that okay, Andrew? Right, okay. Right, so well, that was wonderful having Stephen along. If anybody else wants to join in, and my apologies to Ken. Ken, if you want to join us now, please just click, and we'd love to speak to you.
Alan, who had his very slow thing, he lives literally in the middle of nowhere in Sussex, but he runs an internet-based business amongst other things. And I think he's desperately keen to get a rural upgrade, I think is what they're calling them at BT. Yeah,
I empathise with him. It's very difficult. I mean, we're told that over 95% of the country has got decent broadband, but if you live in the 5%, you know, by the way, really. And you do need a decent broadband connection. It doesn't have to be fast, it just needs to be reliable.
I see Andrew's back. Nice to see your face, Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew. Do you want to join us?
Hop in.
Pop it. Just press where it says call in, just click it and you'd be on board. It's good to see a lot of our friends listening today. What we intend to do is we're not going to be pushy. We're here to listen to you, to answer your questions. We see this being a regular series because Blab's only just started, and
I think we'll talk about other topics other than Blab as well, won't we, Stephen, if people want to?
Oh, yes, truly. We'll discuss anything. I mean, you and I chatterboxes, we can talk for England and Britain, and we can blab for Britain, which is what we're trying to do today.
Blab, 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 blab.
Okay, Ken. We'll be hopefully repeating next week. So
it's booked.
Welcome. We have Andrew is joining us. Ken, we've been on Blab for about just over 2 months, I think. I've run 6 or 7 Blabs, and John has done similar, I think.
Yep. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Hello, Andrew. Good morning to you. You've disappeared now. You've got to be on camera because it's pointless having the camera otherwise.
Hey.
Yeah.
You're looking like you've been out in the sun. Is that bike riding?
Bike riding and a night on the town last night, yes.
Oh, right.
All right.
There's my camera, yes. Yeah. Can you screen share?
Right, okay. There are up to, as you can see, there are up to 4 screens. You can, if you used a program called Manycam, you can switch in and out of screens. So I could disappear now and I could bring up a YouTube video, or I could bring up a graphic, or I could bring up my live desktop.
Right.
But I'm limited to the area that I have for my live picture at the moment. So in terms of screen sharing, yes, you can, but it would be small. Now, there are people working at getting around this. If you were presenting on your own, and you used Manycam, your picture would take up the whole 4 squares, or rectangles, as you're going to tell me in a moment. Take up the whole 4 rectangles, and when you switch over to your desktop would display. Yeah, so you can experiment with it, but we don't know what we're actually going to do, so we'd be guessing. But I would think that in terms of what this system's capable of, then desktop sharing should be part of it. What do you think, John?
I think it would make it a fantastic tool. We have been using 2 PCs in some experiments in test mode so that we could have a second camera and look at a product, moving a camera around a product. And that's been reasonably successful, but requires a degree of coordination that I haven't yet got quite right. Because when you're trying to talk about it and hold another camera over here, it hasn't quite come out the way you've expected, especially as sometimes it appears on this side when you think you're on this side. But
indeed, yeah, everything's back to front.
Yeah.
Right. Ken is being very helpful, and he's just said that they will introduce something to allow screen sharing. So Ken is obviously on the money, and that's pretty good if they do that, because it would help.
Especially if they gave some way where you could work with a dual screen system, so you could put, you know,
Yeah.
a secondary full-size screen on your second screen if you had such an animal.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any other questions, Andrew? Because we're raring to go here.
I was just thinking, have you seen any other people actually doing some sort of best practice on Blab? Not how to use it, but doing something with it which you would consider best practice.
Right. Okay. There is a blog on Medium written by Brittany, and she is a lady who not only runs Blabs, but she's the community manager for Blab, and she blogs virtually 3 or 4 times a week, and she goes through all the best practices. She goes through the rules, or sorry, not best etiquette. Blab etiquette has been documented as to what people should and shouldn't do. So I suggest I'll get you the link later, but if you head over to Medium and search for Blab, then you'll find that they've been blogging there since they started. In fact, over there, you've got the history of how Blab came about,
right.
and how it's got from where it started to here.
It's
So
on the Blab homepage, isn't it, Stephen?
yeah,
Or
as well.
there's a link on the homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, if you go to the homepage, as John said, if you press the Vita again, and that'll take you to the homepage. There's a "What is Blab" screen which comes up, and that gives you an overview as well. But it's in its startup stages. There are lots of different interesting things. John and I encountered the gentleman, the DJ, the other night. Caesar. We'll call him Caesar. Black Caesar.
That way.
Yeah, he was set up. He'd got the mic. He'd got the everything set up. He got his turntable set up. He got a USB stick for his music.
Well,
and
a USB mixer.
A USB mixer. Sorry, John. And he basically in his own shows he's playing indie music. Mm-hmm. And that's a good way to do, because again, working with Minicam, you can change the input source of the sound, so you can switch from microphone to any other device that you're actually using on your machine, and that will then sorry, I just reading.
Mixer allows him to use the mic and the feed at the same time, so he can then talk over and play the music at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if providing you within the music industry, what's the copyright thing? You can play music providing you stay within the copyright laws. You can't have
pure
radio.
Private, whatever the service is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so once you've got that, then you could start up your own radio show. I mean, if you were to, I'm thinking of actually making an arrangement with Jojo Keys, who's on Empire Cred, and who I interviewed on Blab over a month ago, to actually be able to play his music. So if we get to a quiet moment in our Blabs, we can just switch over and play some of Jojo Keys' music and chill for a few minutes. So yes, there are a host of possibilities.
I think, Stephen mentioned 2 months. I think it's about 5 weeks since I first got involved in Blab. And this is my 7th Blab that I've got involved with. And I really can see lots and lots of potential for it. And if they're going to introduce screen sharing, hey, you can do some online courses here, and maybe take a payment via PayPal,
Yep.
So I can see all sorts of potential for it. So, I don't know whether you're running any online mind mapping courses or not, Andrew.
I have done, yeah, a few.
And what are you using to do that?
I could be screen sharing with the sort of lowest level real VNC from my own desktop to one other individual.
Yeah.
Or I could be running WebExes, anything in between. Sometimes it's what the client's got we use to share. Sometimes it's something I've organised for the session.
I mean, the thought that's just occurred to me, we see, I mean, alongside Blab, we've had Periscope and Meerkat, and they are broadcast mediums primarily. I know you can share a Periscope with somebody else and share hosting, but essentially it's somebody broadcasting out. And the first thing that strikes me, Blab versus Meerkat, is that broadcast quality on here is far superior to anything you get on Periscope. And I'm not going to mention Meerkat because I've not actually used it. But the other thing is that you find people periscoping from conferences. Now, again, they've got the sound, they've got the video, and people can watch live, and providing the organisers are happy with it, there's no problem. But I can see this technology being used to go to a conference with your PC and your mic and a decent camera, and you video the conference stage, and you broadcast it live on Blab. But not only are you broadcasting it live on Blab, you can comment because you logged in once for the camera setup, one Twitter account, and logged in on your own Twitter account as commentator. So you can actually commentate live on events and broadcast that to the world. Because the limitations on Blab is that you can basically blab for up to 6 hours. You can have the one feed for 6 hours, and then you've got to relinquish it. So that means in terms of live conferences, if you were doing 2 sessions from a live conference, you could do the morning session, go for lunch, come back and do another 3 hours. So there's that as well. There's so many different markets that this could be used in and used effectively.
Is it Ken, the debatable UK?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, God, look at Andrew.
Yes, we forgot to remind you, Andrew, we are recording. Well,
I did put the right up sign down.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm going to put that sign up, but, you know.
Good morning, Andrew. Thank you. Right, okay, we're going to be joined now by...
I'll leave you now.
Okay, Andrew, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, we're going to be joined now by Dex. You know him as Dex. Hopefully, in a moment, he will... All right, okay, well, Dex is trying to get in. I said this is an informal chat. I'm going to make it a regular chat. There's no pressure. If you want to join in, you can. If you have any questions to ask, you can. We're doing it because we enjoy it and to get practice, and because it's fun, and it makes a change from designing websites and coding. So this is our procrastination hour. No, seriously. We
10 a.m. every Thursday morning. That's our plan. The next one's booked. And we've got people asking us, are we doing it on the 19th as well? I've just received that on Facebook. So
yes,
so,
surely.
Stephen. It's depending on you guys, really. There's no point. Well, me and Steve are quite happy to natter to each other. We prefer to go down the pub for a pint of Guinness.
Yeah, I mean, we can experiment. I mean, we've not experimented this week, but over the coming weeks, what we can do is that we can take a look at Manycam. Now, Manycam I've got running in the background, so if you excuse me if I looks like I'm not interested in not looking at you, I'm just going into Manycam, and hopefully I'll go back to Manycam in a minute. There are lots of interesting things you can do with Manycam insofar as you can add your name. Now, when I finish this, it will become a replay, and you can watch it back at any time. So it stays forever unless we decide to delete it. And I don't think see us doing that. It also, you're supplied with an MP4 and an MP3. Now, the MP3, obviously, you can turn into a podcast quite quickly. The MP4 you can upload to YouTube, run it through YouTube's wonderful filters, and then you've got a YouTube video which you can promote, and you can then use the YouTube video in a blog. Now, we'll be going through how to do that in upcoming programs. Also, we're going to look at how to make further use of it. You can, in fact, when you go to if you go to my profile on here, you'll see that I've got 2 replays, and I've got so 7 replays, two coming up. That can be embedded into a Facebook page. So if you have a page on Facebook, not your personal profile, but a business page on Facebook, then you can integrate Blab into it. And there are companies, I'm not going to mention their names, who will charge you sort of $22 a month to do that. I know of a way to do it for free. So we'll be discussing that as well. We'll also be discussing, we're grateful today for everyone who's joined us and everyone who's listening. But one of the important parts, of course, is how to promote the Blab. It's like anything. If you arrange an event and don't market it, then no one will come along. We're hoping, as I say, we're grateful for everybody who's joined in today, that over the weeks, people will come to know the show is going to be on at 10 o'clock every Thursday morning, and will come and join us. And obviously watch the replays as well. But we're happy to answer questions. We're going to be looking at different aspects each week. So we will be looking at what happens after a Blab, probably next week, and then integrating into your Facebook page if we get time.
Your website.
Every time. Oh yeah, true. We'll go on. The website's a good point. We've missed that one. Carry on.
Well, you can actually embed the code, and this could be live on your website. So, you know, it's quite possible to really, really use it in all sorts of places. That's not a replay. That's the live event can be embedded on your website. Yeah,
which we can't watch at the moment because otherwise
Andrew's asking if headphones are essential. My argument is no. Most other people will say yes, but I have my speakers right down on the floor and my microphone up above my monitor, and that seems to not give the feedback issue that other people have. If you're on a laptop and your microphone and your speakers are right next to each other or just a tiny piece apart, that seems to be a potential for getting feedback.
Okay, Dex, if you want to basically, right, okay.
He's given up by the look of things.
Okay, right. We're now being joined by Sonia. Welcome, Sonia. It should be.
Are you on your phone,
Welcome, Sonia.
Hi. Sorry. Yeah.
Hi.
I'm on two devices actually. I'm just about to bake a cake for my son's 16th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday.
And my business partner Declan, he just jumped on, didn't he? So
yeah.
Is he
He just tried.
Okay. I invited him because we've got some people I know that are using Blab. So when I saw your thing come up this morning, I thought, oh wow, this is interesting because I've only just put it onto my phone. And
okay, yep.
And looks really interesting because I use Google Hangouts. I've tried Periscope as well, but I kind of like the interaction that's going on here.
You're quite right in that. It's the interaction that makes a difference. I mean, Blab, we can have up to 4 people talking at one time. We've got people watching as well. And it's easy to use, isn't it? I mean, you put Blab on your phone this morning, and how difficult was it?
It was really easy. Really easy. I mean, I've actually got it on my laptop upstairs, and I've come down and I've just clicked on the link, and it's like really easy. And that's what I like. It's the simplicity, isn't it?
I think that's how our like too is. Hey, you just click an invite, and away you go. You know, no software loading or anything.
Because here in the UK, because everything. A lot of US people doing stuff, and I saw UK, and I thought, oh, great.
Well, that's why it's 10 a.m. this morning. There are still some of our American friends watching us and joining in, but Blabbing for Britain, that's our idea, is to try and get something momentum moving here in the UK. So don't forget, put it in your diary, 10 a.m. next Thursday as well.
Fantastic.
And baking a cake then?
Pardon?
Will you be baking a cake next Thursday?
No. Just see just behind me.
Oh, right. Yes, I can see it all. Yeah.
Behind me.
What sort of cake is he getting?
It's a sponge cake.
And will you be icing it as well?
My secret recipe sponge cake that everybody loves. So.
Brilliant.
What's
it's got
the
to be
secret?
sponge cake in Britain. It's got to be a sponge cake, isn't it?
Yes.
It has indeed.
Butter icing's going to be on it as well.
And any pictures? Any? Are you going to do
Oh.
a little man for him in icing, or?
Okay, I'm going to have to. Oh,
Okay.
Because my dad's just turned up.
All right. Okay, this is live TV. Okay, it's been a
It's lovely to meet you live.
it's been a pleasure, Sonia.
Yeah, because I've seen you, John. So this is the first time that we've spoken live. So fantastic.
You replied to my post, I think, this morning, didn't you?
That's right. That's right. Fantastic. You
Lovely
take care.
to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, so I just need to hit the cross, do I?
Bye, Sonia.
Sonia's dad.
That's my dad.
He's live across the world.
Yeah, he had the stroke a couple of years ago, so he's got over here on his own. So fantastic. Okay, bye guys.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Right. Okay. Well, that's it. Well, welcome to everybody who's just joined us. As you can see, we're not. We're taking a relaxed attitude to our Blab, and there's no pressure on anybody. You're welcome to join in. You're welcome to ask questions.
Leah, I'd like to know what the weather's like. What's the weather like where you are, Leah? That's our question. Here, it's pouring with rain. That's just south of Birmingham. And in Wiltshire, it's
a grey sky, and it will pour with rain. So it's either raining or it's about to rain. Great British topic is the weather. Oh, it's raining, John. I spotted the rain. So we're happy. Right, okay. And Ken's trying to join us again.
Hi, how are you doing?
Morning, Ken.
Good morning. How are you?
We're fine, thank you. Good to see you.
I couldn't come on before, but I've just hopped on the desktop. I was on the phone before, and it probably would have been a bit difficult. But yeah, it's great that you're starting something sort of UK based, because obviously a lot of the presence on here so far has been from North America, and people in the UK are starting to pick up on Blab, and it's nice to sort of all tie up together. It's good.
Thank you for that. We took that viewpoint as well. I mean, like yourself, probably we were on Google Hangouts and Google Plus, and that had a presence in the States, but in the UK, it didn't have the same pickup. And the thing about the UK is we've got two things. One, the technology is American. Well, this time round, the guy backing Blab is British, so that's one reason we should be on board. Right. The technicians may be American, some of them, but it's backed by a British guy. And the other thing is that we are, as British people, slightly reserved and not like to be on camera. So what we're trying to do with these series of sessions is to encourage people just to have a go, because once you've done it for the first time, then there's no problem at all, and you can just carry on doing it. Have you been involved in Hangouts and online video before?
Not so much, really. Just, as you say, the occasional sort of Google Hangout and sort of Skype calls and that sort of thing. But no, I mean, I've been on Blab now for about 70 odd days, so fairly early on. And it's been quite interesting to see its development and, different types of people coming on now in different communities. I think the social media people, especially in the States, seem to pick up on it really early. And a lot of the early sort of growth and sort of recognition of the platform came from them. But obviously now it's beginning to become more widespread, and all sorts of people. I mentioned in my comment, quite interestingly from the UK point of view, one of the early adopters was the police, or some of the police who are responsible for social media. And it was quite interesting, sort of hearing what they're trying to do with things like Periscope and Blab in terms of social engagement. And that's quite innovative. And I think they don't always get credit for trying new ways of reaching out to the public. And certainly they see a lot of potential in Blab. It's quite interesting listening to, actually, because something like social media, each force can go its own way and do its own thing. You'd think there'd be some sort of central directive, but if there are a few sort of tech savvy police and they're allowed to be sort of reasonably innovative. Obviously there's a little bit of caution there about what they do in a public forum, but it's very encouraging that they're actually adopting this sort of technology quite early on and seeing the potential in it. So that was quite an interesting use of Blab as a forum.
Yeah. Was that the West Midlands Police? I know they're not on.
Yeah, West Midlands. I think also London area. And the interesting thing is that the guys coming on, they're all serving police, at all sorts of levels of seniority. There's sort of desk sergeants and detective inspectors and all sorts of people. So that obviously they're united by a common link in terms of trying to use social media as a way of getting the police message out there. And but I thought that was quite an encouraging sort of pick up on the platform from somebody. I've also heard people suggesting that sort of charities could use it quite well as well, because as a way for sort of pitching for contributions, because you could have, especially charities that are based around the world, you could have people dialing in from different countries and maybe showing how the money was being spent. I think people are always more inclined to donate and contribute if they can see visually what's actually happening with their money. And I think that was a very good. So there are all sorts of innovative suggestions about how Blab as a platform can be used.
I think I can see that. Yeah, charity would be able to do great things with Blab.
Isn't that really part of the success of Red Nose Day as well, in that all the weeks leading up, they show the Lenny Henrys of this world going to the school they built in Africa, the wells and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly, and I suspect that the heaviest contributions are during or just after those films, because people can actually see tangible evidence of what their money's doing. And that's the beauty of the forum. Really, it's visual, and you get something there that you're never going to get with more sort of passive mediums. So I think the potential that Blab has is for sort of combining complete public access, and that's why you were talking earlier about private rooms. I think their philosophy is that there's that type of service out there if that's what you want, whether it's Skype, Google Hangouts, or I mentioned another one, Appear.in. There are lots of those out there, but this is really about sort of giving complete access to all sorts of people from all over the world. And obviously there's some risks and some dangers and some issues involved with that as well, in terms of spammers and trolls and things like that, but they've put tools in to help cope with that. And it shouldn't hold it back as an open forum. And I think it's got a lot of potential, like you guys.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. And it's a question of getting the word out and making people aware of it by writing blogs, by running sessions like this, by tweeting about it, by doing everything we can to promote it. And it's a step-by-step approach, isn't it? You can't change it overnight, but if we build up momentum, then we can get more and more people involved.
And I think the word will get out there. I think, as you were saying with the lady previously, I think it's the accessibility of it. They've made it nice and easy to get on, because it's browser based. There's no local install. It's just so accessible, and I think that's the secret of it.
Sonia only came in because she saw a post I made at 5 to 10.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing. It's the immediacy of it, isn't it? If you can schedule events, but you can. I was on a Blab last night with another guy from the UK.
Yeah.
And we were in a Blab, and we got interested in something we were discussing, and he just said, "Well, look, this one's wrapping up now, but I'll start another one. Hop over there, and we'll have a chat." And we did that, and it's the combination of, you can have a scheduled show, but you can also, on the spur of the moment, just have a gathering.
Yeah, indeed.
Whereabouts are you, Ken?
I'm in the northwest.
I'm originally from Burnley.
Oh, right, okay. So not really.
We're both supporting Claret and Blue teams, but my team.
Well, my team, I'm
riding high.
Burnley is second in the joint first in the championship, but second on goal difference at the moment, which is quite amazing for a small town. To actually be challenging.
Well, they've had some good days. They've had some good times recently, haven't they? So over recent years.
Oh yeah. It used to be the Baggies, West Brom, the yo-yo team, up and down. Now it's Burnley going up and down.
So you guys in the Midlands now, or?
Sorry, I missed that.
Are you in the Midlands now?
I know. I'm deep Wiltshire. I know.
Oh right.
You was in the Midlands once.
That's right,
Stephen.
Yeah, I was in the Midlands for 11 years, and then moved down to wonderful Wiltshire to be with my partner, Angelica. There you are, mentioned her again. I've got to get right. Right, yeah. I mean, we're basically. But the thing about this technology is it also brings people together. As you say, you're up in the north. John's in the Midlands. I'm in the south. Andrew was in the southeast. I guess Sonia was in the same sort of area. And we have a question coming from Andrew, which perhaps we can all take a look at. What are the 3 best ways to promote the Blab beforehand and after?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Andrew. Andrew, just to let you know, if you type /Q and then space, your question sort of gets blocked, and it becomes not blocked as in blocked, but it has a little block comment, and it makes it easier for the host to have a look at it. So I don't know if you want to try that with a test, /Q and then space, and then if you type your question, because the other thing you can do if you do that is, I don't know if you guys know, you can now promote that on the left.
Yeah.
So where Andrew's put one before there, if one of you as a host, actually, you can promote that now, and you can put it in the spare seat so that people watching know that we're addressing that question. So I don't know if you want to try that.
No.
So on the left, have you got questions or Twitter on your left column?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll come back to that. I think we'll have a session with yourself, Ken, later in the week.
Yeah, okay. Well, what that would do, that would put Andrew's question in where it says open seat. That would put the question there, and so people, the idea of that, they've introduced that recently. The idea of that is people that were watching know that we're addressing that question.
Yeah. Okay.
But to answer the question, the 3 best ways to promote the Blab beforehand. Because the Blabs that I've had, it is an issue really to sort of promote it. I mean, obviously Twitter's the main way. You can either do that sort of live, tell a little bird on the left hand side there, tweet out to your following on Twitter. The other way is there are a lot of Facebook groups now, and I'm a member of 2 or 3 of those, and you can promote it on those forums. Or obviously the other way is, if you schedule in advance, people have got more notice that the show's actually going to take place. But I think it is a bit of an issue actually, is getting people's awareness that you're on Blab.
It is, because Blab being in beta are not really doing any real promotional work at the moment. But we have John and I have are members of a site called Empire Cred. And Empire Cred is basically a website which is a social stock market. It also has the ability to run missions. Now, if you think that you want to promote and you want people to help you, so that you're going to send out a tweet and you want that tweet to be retweeted, then we can use our friends and contacts on Empire Cred to retweet us. So if we send one tweet out, the tweet will be tweeted between 20 and 50 times.
That sounds great. Have you got a link for that, Stephen?
Yeah, we do. I'm sure we'll type it in. It's empire.cred. Empire.kred is a site that we're both members of. I think John's got that. John, you got it?
Well, empire.cred, yeah.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. If you type empire.cred and then join, and then you come back and tell us you've chosen ID, Stephen and I will both invest in you immediately.
And help you along, help you to get started.
Stephen runs a blog as well about empire.cred, don't you, Stephen? So
yeah, I'm one of the team actually running Empire Cred on a daily basis.
You're a moderator, aren't you, Stephen?
Yes, I moderate the leaders group. Thank you, John. Yeah, this is
about himself.
Yeah. Empire Cred is a website that you should investigate in terms of promoting yourself in business and meeting a lot of people around the world. John and I have made around about 800 contacts each in the USA and Canada over the 4 years we've actually been on the site, and they are very helpful, and we reciprocate, and everybody gets on and helps each other. Empire Cred, now is probably a good time to join because there's a lot of activities coming out this month. If you look at my Blabs, you'll see I did one the other day which outlines everything about Empire. In fact, I'm running another Blab tonight, which is pure on that subject. So thank you for letting me get Empire Cred in here. I always do enjoy doing so. But we'll now go back to topic. This is for anybody who's just joined us. John and I have been on Cred a couple of months. We enjoy being on Cred. Sorry.
few years would be more like it.
Yeah. We enjoy being there, and it's a very useful site. Now back to Blab. We've been here since, not since forever, since Blab became popular in the UK, since we first heard about it. We've done Blabs between us. We've done live Blabs interviewing people. I've used Blab to interview Dan and Paul Nelson of Elements for Life, and they've just celebrated 5 years of the Chocolate Factory. So we were able to do a 30-minute promotion using Blab.
Wiltshire, aren't they?
They're the Willy Wonkas of Wiltshire. That's the best way to describe them. That's the way they describe themselves. And also from Empire Crowd is an interview with Jojo Keys. And next week on Blab, I'm interviewing a gentleman from Relay Graphics, and whose name escapes me at the moment. I hope he doesn't watch
Ray,
this.
isn't it? Right.
It could be, yeah. Right, okay. So we're here to help. We'll be back again next Thursday to answer your questions.
We will talk about any topic. It doesn't have to be Blab. It doesn't have to be social media. We'll talk about Guinness gladly. Talk about allotments. We're both very, very keen allotmenteers. So if you want to discuss growing vegetables this winter, we'll even discuss that, won't we, Stephen?
We'll discuss anything that gets people into knowing how Blab works.
I see. Stephen's put it on again. It's just empire.cred, Kred. That's the important bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was putting C in, so that's great. Thanks.
You're most welcome, Rachel. Right. Are there any? That's good.
Would anyone else like to join in?
Yes, indeed. You're welcome to join us.
Welcome to James Twits.
Right, the other thing you can do. Sorry, John.
I'm talking over Stephen, and I mustn't.
No, that's not true. I was talking over you. I'm sorry, I was mumbling. Carry on. No.
The boss is going to talk now.
All right. Okay. If we look at the screen, if you look at any one of the screens, you'll see the name in blue. If you press that at any time, it brings up the Blab profile, and you can follow people. You can follow the person. Underneath that, you'll see the link, and you can go through and follow it on Twitter. If you see a picture, if we say something interesting, God forbid we ever should, but if we say something interesting, then you can click on our pictures and give us some applause. Now that's just for fun. It means that we're actually on topic. It doesn't appear anywhere else. It's not recorded permanently. We don't take it personally. We're not in a fight here, John. No, we am leaving you 14-11. We're not in a fight at all. Right, so you can follow us on Blab. You can follow us on Twitter. I've just followed Ken. So it's a very good way of doing that. Also, across the top of the screen, you'll see the icons of people who are logged into Blab and watching us at the moment. And again, if you just cursor over the individual names, if you're not following someone, then you can. So it's a good way of people who are actually active on Blab, is to follow them from the icons at the top, because there's people using Blab today. The problem with a lot of networks is that people join because they think they should and then don't come back again. The fact that people are actually watching us live now means that they did come back again, and they're the people to follow. So the icons at the top of the screen, you can click them, and all will be well. Well, John, we're coming towards the end of our hour.
Just Andrew Tickham, the /P takes you to your own personal profile. So putting www.empire.cred.p will take a person to their profile. You need to put / and your ticker when you're sharing it. That's correct, isn't it, Stephen?
It is, yeah. So, yeah. If you need, everybody has a ticker, what we call a ticker. It's an ID.
Mine is the boring Upton, UPTON.
Mine is Stephen JH. Stephen with a V, as spelt up there, where it says Stephen here. It's Stephen JH.
So can I just ask Stephen and John, is this a regular show then, or are you going to make it a regular show?
That's our plan. It's scheduled for next Thursday. We've already got participants asking us via Facebook if we're going to do it on the 19th. So I guess the answer to that is yes. I think the way we've set it up is that Stephen is the host this week. I'll be the host next week. Stephen the week after. So if you want to find the Blab, although we'll be splattering it all over the place post this, you can search in me and you'll see next week's is scheduled using my name.
That's great, because I think consistency is one of the problems in terms of discoverability. You know, when people are sort of scheduling all over the place, or it certainly helps to find somebody if they're there at a regular time and have got a regular slot, and your audience grows with you. Yeah, what we're making key is that they all start with Blabbing for Britain in the title is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. No, it's great. Certainly, in terms of getting more UK users on, everything we can do to help promote it will help. Yep, it will. Brilliant. Thank you for joining us, Ken. You're welcome. Thank you to everyone who joined us. Do you remember who we had so far today? Stephen Bray? Yep. Andrew Wilcox? Yep. Alan Ray? Alan Ray, yes. But the Shiny Dome? Ken. And we're going to miss somebody. Our nice lady who was baking the cake. Indeed, yes. And neither of us can remember her name. We're embarrassed now, aren't we? We're going to be embarrassed for a minute. It's Sonia, wasn't it? It's Sonia. Sonia. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. You saved us. If you click on the eye, you get everybody that's always that's who's using it currently. So Sonia's still watching, I think. Oh, right. Okay. Indeed. Yes. Thank you, Sonia. Right. I've got a freeze at the moment. Oh, right. Okay. It's okay. I pressed the wrong button. Right. Okay. Well, shall we wrap up for today, John? Yep. And Rachel's just saying she's starting a Twitter blab in 3 minutes. So we'll probably pop over there and have a look if we get opportunity. Truly? Yeah. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again, Ken, for staying with us for a while. Yeah, no problem. I'll try and catch you next week. Look forward to it. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye for now. Bye.